where that family was at now don't have a home and have to go find another home. Y'all boosted rent up crazy.
Yeah.
OD so people couldn't move back. That's some fucked up ass
Yeah.
individuals.
Yo,
Knock down houses, didn't rebuild them. I went to New Orleans and first time, 2018, 2019, still could see the effects.
oh, 100%. I was down there and
Still seeing people building houses.
I was down there in 23. I was down there in 23.
Still see it.
And if I'm
Which is sad.
Yep. And I'll be going again next September if I'm still around at the place to which I work.
Volume 2. Yeah. This is our show. Yeah. Introspective insight. Introspective insight.
Peace, love, and all that good stuff. I am King Dev, and this is Introspective Insight, the Black Wall Street podcast. And we got Magic back on the show. What's good, bro?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Chilling. Another day, another dollar. You know, woke up, got some money. Now we potting, getting some more money.
All right.
You know how that go?
That's what it's about. That's what it's about, man.
You know how that go. So we had some after last episode, and for those listening, we are recording this after the last episode. So if you ain't listened to the last episode, go listen to it because that's going to color in a lot of the conversation, the banter that we're going to be having on this episode of Introspective Insight. But first, as you know, we always got to go into the word of the show and the quote of the show. The word of the show is actually a word that I used in reflection of watching really the 1.5 Hurricane Katrina documentaries, which is disdain, because that is how I feel the country, the United States of America, feels whenever Black people in this country, Black people living in America, is in some type of crisis and is in need of some of assistance, any type of assistance. And disdain means to discolor, stain, or sully. And if you use it in a sentence or you took those different meanings, the government just continues to discolor any type of struggle that Black people living in America has, so much so that they just make it seem like the only thing we know how to do is be animals, which we will get into that because those are some of the words that they use for people trying to survive. The United States, I don't know, it's the United States Army research people, I don't know what it is, the people that work with FEMA, that they designed in order to keep the Mississippi River and the Canal, I think it's the Canal Street Canal. If you from New Orleans, correct me in the comments, but keep them from going over because New Orleans is made in a bowl. The downtown is higher than sea level, but where all the Black people live, because all the white people bought all the property where it wouldn't flood, where all the Black people live is like 6 feet below sea level. We will get into that. But the quote of the show actually comes from Malik Rahim. He's a community organizer in the city of New Orleans. And he said to start the powerful rendition or journey that you take that was produced by Proximity Media or in partnership with Proximity Media, Ryan Coogler, ZZ Coogler, Ludwig, I forget his first name, their production company. And the quote is, in order to prevent something from happening again, you have to understand why it happened in the first place. And I'm going to say that one more time. Because I thought, when I heard that, I was like, ooh, he's spitting. In order to prevent something from happening again, you have to understand why it happened in the first place. Magic, what you think about that?
Man, I think it's true. It's true. You have to understand. What's that saying? You have to, what is it? Be ready so you don't have to get prepared.
Yeah, stay ready so you ain't got to get
ready. Stay
ready
so you don't have to get ready. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's basically what that is, man. And you know New Orleans is by water. It's surrounded by water. These things should have been planned. These things, you never know what happens with so-called this world weather. You know they're in hurricane season. So places that need levees are places like Florida, Tampa, Jacksonville, Miami. Those places that have a bunch of water that's surrounded. You should have a plan. You should be checking those levees. You should be making sure levees are strong enough. You should be making sure levees is completed, developed the correct way. It's really from that documentary you're speaking of, is really mind blowing because they did something. Uh, uh, they did a test a year prior to it, emergency test. I don't remember what it exactly was called, but you know what I'm talking about?
Yep. It's they said
They
it was Hurricane Ian?
Ian or Pam or something like that.
Pam.
It was a fake,
Pam. It was
yeah,
a fake
Hurricane Pam,
hurricane. Yep. With the
fake hurricane.
same the crazy part though, as you continue, as you finish, is
Mhm.
the same wind speed per hour that Katrina ended up being. Go ahead.
Strange, right? What a coincidence!
Mm-hmm.
Coincidence!
Mm-hmm.
What a coincidence!
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, what was it? Hurricane Betha. What was the hurricane prior to that? In the '60s or something like that.
Oh, they said that in the second one. It was I think it was
That
Betha or something like that. It was something with a B.
yeah. That hurricane flooded New Orleans before, and then they built those levees or whatever, and whatever you want to call it. But
Betsy.
going back to the
Betsy.
Betsy, going back to that 2004 fake hurricane, they should have been checking those levees, man. They
Mhm.
should have checked those levees. They should have made sure everything was fine, just in case. Even when they seen um the hurricanes coming, they didn't take they didn't take it as serious until what 12 hours prior, 10 hours prior. That's not enough time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not enough time.
Mm-hmm.
And then people are listening to the government, people are listening to local officials, and they telling them, yeah, do this and that. And then you do a mandatory evacuation um, in that little bit of time. By that time I get on the freeway, I'm going to be on the freeway before I'm going to be on the freeway and the hurricane going to come by the time I get out the freeway.
Which is why some people didn't go.
That is exactly why some people didn't go. It's just terrible, man. That quote definitely needed to be said, and hopefully it is heard. Because like Tokyo has earthquakes
And tsunamis.
and tsunamis, so they have levees and they are prepared for because you never know when an earthquake gonna come.
Mm-hmm.
It just happens.
And I think the tsunamis is worse because that's an earthquake happening miles and miles off the coast that push water in multiple a circular direction. Which after
And
watching the Hurricane Katrina documentary from National Geographic, they have a series called Race Against Time, and there's a tsunami one that happened on the coast of in the Indian Ocean, Thailand and Indonesia. And I just started watching it, but I digress.
that's my homework. That's my homework.
It's so crazy because if you're not proximate to any of these natural disasters, then you don't really understand the severity and what people live through when they experience these things. Now, obviously, different countries will call for different, which is that's a connection that I made. I'm gonna say it, and then when you watch it and come back, we'll have that discussion. But the one thing that I noticed was there was no militarization of the recovery process, possibly just because they don't have the numbers to do what we do, right? We have military personnel that is homeland bound by way of the National Guard. And then you have the abroad, the Rangers and SEAL Team 6 and the Marines, and you got the active duty, then you got the reserves. So there's millions of people who ready to shoot their M16, right? what I noticed was it was less about helping the people most affected, and I'm talking about after Hurricane Katrina. Hurricane Katrina was just the that was a pregame to the tragedy, right? Unfortunately, right? The actual tragedy happened because we have incompetent people in office who look to corrupt more than they do to actually serve. So part of where we started to see the clear, and this is one thing I do like about the second episode of the Netflix version of the story, is one of the people said, like, even a blind man, somebody that with two patched eyes can see that this was a racial thing. And this was not something that was supposed to happen, but it only happened because of the people to which it was happening to. So part of, again, going back to Malik Rahim's quote, for me, that means that we're taught to read, see the books in the back, right? We're taught to read and understand history so history doesn't repeat itself again. In the community, across the diaspora, we connect with our ancestors, we connect with our elders, we connect with mentors, teachers, and books to continue to tell stories so we understand, listen, what your great-grandfather went through, we trying to make sure that you don't go through that. What your grandmother went through or your granddad went through, we trying to make sure you don't go through that. What I went through, you don't need to go through that. That is the way that we are wired across the diaspora, but specifically Black people living in America, Black people living in the United States. That's how we're wired, because we have to understand that when they got hosed down because they was trying to fight for their rights, that was for us to do the very thing that we're doing right now on this podcast. So
exactly
part of why this quote will probably go somewhere, I don't know, I'll figure it out, or it even might go in my cycle of quotes that I put in my email signature. This country, organizations, government agencies, etc., continue to say that they're trying to prevent things, but don't want to acknowledge why it happened in the first place. It was a point in the second podcast, the Netflix version, where George W. Bush, as they would say it, sounded just like Donald J. Trump.
And I want to thank the commanders, and I want to thank the troops over there for representing the best of America. I want to congratulate the governors for being leaders. You didn't ask for this when you swung in, but you're doing a heck of a job. And the federal government's job is big and it's massive, and we're going to do it. Where it's not working right, we're going to make it right. Where it is working right, we're going to duplicate it elsewhere. Now, we have a responsibility at the federal level to help save life, and that's the primary focus right now.
What? And then he was like, but thank you, Mike Brown, for doing this great work.
Out of the rubbles of Trent Lott's house, his had lost his entire house, there's going to be a fantastic house, and I'm looking forward to sitting on the porch. Again, I want to thank you all for, and Brownie, you're doing a heck of a job. The FEMA director's working 24 hours.
And it was right after he decided that he was going to go to New Orleans, but he's not going to go on the ground. He was probably going to fly over the city, and then he landed at a military base which is probably in Baton Rouge, because that's where Mike Brown was for the majority of the flooding and everything.
You said Bush? No, Bush went to D.C. When he flew and looked over the city, he went to D.C. and then he made a...
This was the second time.
Oh, you're talking about the second? Oh,
the second time where he had just got off of... So I know he ended his vacation, which is crazy. He ended his vacation early. But there was a second time. I can't remember exactly what happened. Maybe it was like around the martial law where they was like, this was around the time where all the narratives was going around about people being lawless and refugees and all of that stuff, right?
being called a
Crazy.
refugee in a city that you're
In the
born and raised
country.
in,
In the country.
born and raised in the country,
You're a refugee.
you're a refugee.
But yeah, it was after that, and he tried to like show a force, and he was like, he was gonna go to New Orleans, but he ended up not going. He didn't land in New Orleans. He landed somewhere proximate, and he did like a presser with Mike Brown, who, for those of you listening or watching, he was the FEMA director for that at that time period, but he ended up
05.
retiring in 05 or leaving in 05. And the crazy part is, for timeless reference, the job he had before being the FEMA director was he was like the director of some dog show. Just so we understand that all of the people in the at cabinet level spots right now in the federal government, and them not being qualified, but we have to be 10 times qualified to even get a senior level role at a local nonprofit. This is a historical thing. This is not something that just happened because Donald J. Trump is in office. This is something that Republicans have been doing for centuries now.
He resigned.
He resigned because of his lack of.
Yeah, they was on his ass.
Yep. I can't help but notice that there is always a pattern when dealing with Black people who are experiencing a crisis that is out of their control. And I thought it was crazy. Absolutely insane. 20 hours prior. No, actually it was a few days prior, because they knew that it was, first they thought it was going to hit Miami, and then it like made the turn. And then it took about 4 days before it, I mean, obviously it took a long time, but it took at least 2 days before they knew that it was a category 5. And then like within knowing that it's a category 5, it was at least 2 days before they knew that it was going to hit. Like they knew it was hitting New Orleans. So they had at least a week time frame to do some risk management in the areas of the city to which they knew would be hit the hardest. And I guess my question, or not even question, but my statement is, or something that we should ponder on as we are reflecting on this, right, is how do we as Black people living in this country learn how to prepare to protect ourselves in the event of. Now, I know that's a loaded question, right? So one thing I'll preference is we have this inability to disconnect from our property for obvious reasons, right? And I seen that happening throughout both documentaries, listening to people's stories to where it's like, yeah, that's my property. That was actually a really big theme. The main story that they follow, Alexander, he even tried to go back to New Orleans to kind of like reclaim where his mom was before she died. And he had to it took him a really, really, really long time for him to completely just say, all right, I've done all I can. I got to go now. How do we get out of that as a people, or your thoughts around how we can potentially get out of that?
Unity. There's really unity, unity and knowledge, educating each other, and also letting go emotional ties. Like a lot of those people didn't want to let go of those homes. But one thing you got to understand is that you can't beat uh, Mother Nature. You cannot beat Mother Nature.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth trying to fight Mother Nature. And when it comes to Mother Nature, think the worst is going to happen. Always think the worst is going to happen with Mother Nature, because there's going to be things that you can't even believe Mother Nature could do. And just being prepared, like My mom growing up always had canned food. Never understood it, but understood why. She been through the ice storm in Rochester, New York. I forgot what years that was, and she understand. All right, but another ice storm come. I got canned foods. I got water. I got flashlights. I got heaters. I got first aid kits. I got all these things so that I could survive an ice storm. Um, and that passed down along to me, where I keep canned food, and things of that nature. But I really think it's just education and unity. Um, you said something about earlier about how we trying to our grandfathers and then their grandfathers and then our mothers is passing down so that we don't go through what they went through.
Mm-hmm.
And we have places like Florida that's getting rid of a lot of the Black history. So that's another fight that we have to continue to fight. They trying to get rid of our history. I believe I've been told that um, even in the books, there's no longer in the books. It don't even start at slavery. It don't say nothing about slavery anymore in Florida books, which is I think is really scary.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the main thing is unity and knowledge. Knowledge is power.
One thing I struggle with, right? And I actually cringed maybe like towards the end of the second episode of the Netflix version. It's very interesting because in this one, they told the story about the people inside the dome. I believe it's the people inside the dome singing We Shall Overcome, the Negro
Mm-hmm.
spirituals.
I
That
remember that.
makes my skin itch. Now, granted, I have to create this commentary with the lens of 2005, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like now, like right now, if a hurricane is coming, we know on our phones immediately, right?
Right.
You press one button and we know everything. Hurricane happened, wildfire, air quality, all that stuff, cool. When Alexander walked into his house after everything, like all the water receded, he said, "That damn my big screen," and it was the big doofy,
The fatback.
yeah, the fat back. I'm like, dang, we did call them big screens. I think that we have to stop. In addition to what you were just saying, we have to stop fighting corruption with Negro spirituals. That mixed with our inability to detach emotionally from things that we have deemed our own, that is a chronic disease. I don't know what disease that is, right? But that is a chronic thing that we have to figure out as a people how to get rid of or how to cope with in the event of. And that will always bring me back to when the Emmett Till show was on.
Mm-hmm.
And his granddad, and when I say his, I mean Emmett's granddad, even in knowing that those white men beat, wrangled, and dismembered Emmett Till to the point of no return and no identification, he still couldn't leave Mississippi when he knew that he could just get on the train and go, because he felt that that's all he knew and that's all he will ever know, and that was his
And what
property.
did that lead to though? That emotional tie, that emotional connection. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. You can't have that emotional connection or that emotional tie and you just holding on to it. You holding on to it to the death of you. You can't. You gotta let it go.
It's the emotional attachment. And then what I'm also doing too is I'm connecting what I said around, like, we teach our kids within the diaspora, we teach each other not to repeat history. We also teach them how to hold on to what's yours and don't let it go because of history. So like that's a double-edged sword, right? In terms of like, yeah. So one of my favorite things to like reference is like post-traumatic slave syndrome. Dr. Joy DeGroy, she talked about how post-traumatic slave syndrome is a syndrome that takes the traumatic happenings of slavery and modernizes it. So what that means is there's a reason when parents got complimented by somebody else about the things that we're doing, and they'll say, "Oh, nah, maybe that's how it is with you, but with me, he not like that, or she not like that." And that was because back in slavery, when the master complimented your kids, that meaning they was out to get them. So through genealogy, we held on to that traumatic response to where now we've modernized it to where if our kids, if we're approached and somebody praises us for how we are engaging with our kids, or how our kids are engaging the world or their kids, we immediately shut it down. That's the double-edged sword where we're teaching not to repeat history, but we also are not understanding that we're passing down traumatic responses that's baked into our DNA because of history. That's where you get the "we shall overcome" and all these different Negro spirituals, because that's the only way they could fight back in the day. We not there no more.
I'm not with that. First of all, I can't sing, and then second of all, I gotta find me a way.
That's a fact.
I gotta find me a way.
That's
I'm not with all that singing shit.
That's a fact.
Either you with me or you're not. I gotta go. I'm not with all that singing. And I don't know the words. I'm not good with lyrics. So no, I'm not. I'm good. I mean, but to their offense, it's knowledge. I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do right now. I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do right now. It's not just knowledge, but it's also they had nothing. Everything gone, wiped out, gone.
Yeah.
And then you was fed all these lies like it's gonna be cool, you good. Oh, we got a bus coming. Oh, food is coming. Oh, you can stay here. I mean, you believing in all these things. You listening to all these local officials that you possibly even voted in. So it's kind of tough, especially in that situation. The city is flooded. I thought of saying, let me go on a bridge and I can cross over. I could just walk over and go to the next little town, and then I could find some help. Can't do that because the police is stopping you on the freeway and turning you back around.
The police
I
of
don't
the other
have
town.
no weapon. Of the other town. And then if you did get to the other town, they shooting you like a damn wild turkey.
Yep.
So it's like in their offense, they really couldn't do much. There's not much they can do. I mean, they could have came together and tried to fight, but then again, we have no weapons. Military or National Guard is here with M16s in our face. I'm hungry. I'm trying to go. I'm going to the store that's right here. Y'all not giving us no food. I got a sick relative right here that need food, that need medicine. I got a baby that's 4 months, 2 months. Shit, it was a baby on one of them documentaries that just was born.
Yeah, it was the second one.
The second one, yeah. So it's like
day before.
Hey, I'm thinking about my child. I'm thinking about my siblings, my relatives. Man, and they had not much they could do.
Facts.
But on the other side, some of them stayed there because they wanted to save their property. And that's where that. If that's where that you gotta pick and choose, fight or flight.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I'm gone. I ain't got time for no hurricane. I don't play with Mother Nature. I'm gone.
And she don't play with me.
And she don't play. Yeah, she don't care. Mother Nature don't care what color you are. It's coming. When it's coming, it's coming. You gotta get up out of here.
Yeah, my to the property point. It's interesting because there was one lady in the first documentary. She has a hair salon in New Orleans. She still does. And she actually, because there was like a Roadhouse program that they did after.
That
everything.
program.
Yeah, where they basically was one, they was just trying to tell people, yeah, you can't go back to your properties. And then they tried to take people properties and people was like, nah, you can't take my property. In that moment, now I want to clear something up though. In that moment, I'm not saying get rid of your property. No, I'm saying when you knew that it was coming, you leave your property to come back to it. You don't want to get stuck in the middle of Mother Nature. You want to come back and rebuild after Mother Nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she was in her property, and her property was, I think it was 3 feet over the shoreline, and she was kind of not comfortable, but she was comfortable in her house. And the military made her leave and made her walk into the water and stuff like that. In that situation, it's okay to stay in your place if it made sense in the moment. But I think part of where we want to be clear.
That didn't make sense though. Because the flood, the water didn't leave. They didn't get all the water out for a month.
A lot of it didn't make sense because of how, I mean, obviously, again, we're using foresight as in the moment, it made sense because the water wasn't in her apartment.
I mean, yeah, you don't know. You don't know exactly what the hell going on.
Right.
You just think, all right, the flood, all right, it should be gone in a week or two.
Facts.
Yeah.
And I think part of where we want to be clear as we're talking about this is we're not saying give up your stuff. We're saying don't be so attached to it that it cost you your life. There's people that stayed there's people that stayed because they didn't have nowhere else to go. That's a whole other
emotional attachment. Some other people didn't have nowhere to go. Some people couldn't afford to go. Some people had no car, no nothing. They can't even get to the convention center or the Superdome. So those people, I mean, it's not much. There's not many options they have.
Mm-hmm.
But those people with options, with choices, those are the ones I'm kind of speaking of.
Yeah. So an example is Alexander Jr.
He had the option, but the thing is, he waited too late.
He waited way too late. Because part of it, in matter of fact, and that's what he said in the first one. He didn't say this in the second one. The second one, he talked about his auntie. But in the first one, he said, I made my mom leave and I chose to stay back to take care of the property.
Because they just got it. He just finished up building it.
Yep. And by the time it was, he made the decision, he had a half a tank of gas, which again, there's a lot of other things that we don't have enough time to go into, right? Watch the documentary. It's a great documentary. Watch both documentaries. He decided to stay because he wanted to stay and protect the property. And it's not funny. It's serendipitous because on the backside, he did the same thing after his mom died. So in both times, she left. Obviously, the last time it wasn't their choice, right? But she got the trailer and they was working on it together. She died 2 weeks later.
Because that trailer was some bullshit.
Right.
It had a lot of bullshit in it that got people sick.
Correct. Right. And it took him, I think it was, don't quote me, but I think it was like a month or so before he actually was like, all right. No, it was a couple years. It was a minute. I'm not going to put no time to it. It was a minute because he would leave and he would come back, work on it, leave, and come back and work on it, leave and come back and work on it. Primarily because that was more so to like have his mom's legacy live on. But then the other part was like, all right, yeah, I can't do this no more because it's not feasible anymore. So I think that as we continue to grow as a people and community, we have to be unified, which I don't think that we weren't unified. In both documentaries, people was helping each other. You need this? Oh, you need that? All right, I'm going to go.
That's one thing Black people going to do.
Oh, yeah.
When the crisis comes, they're going to help each other out.
On the boat.
That's when everybody unite. Yeah.
The dude, he was in both of them. He was like, yeah, I was on the boat going back, trying to find people, everything like that. I think we have to learn, and this is something that I talk about in work too. We have to learn how to build an infrastructure so we have a power base on the advocacy side too, policy, advocacy, all that stuff. Because the reality is we put that man in office as the mayor, and he was scheming off the top, or whatever he did for corruption. He was scheming off the top, and you can tell someone who's doing it because they actually care about helping people, like the lieutenant commander, or people who's doing it but they don't really know what they're doing. Mike Brown, the mayor of New Orleans at the time,
That lady was
the
disrespectful too.
governor,
That lady in Baton Rouge.
the governor,
That's who it was?
the governor,
Yeah.
the one that was like,
Talking
we
about
will shoot and
we had
kill.
a restaurant.
Oh,
Her?
that was the aide. That was that from the FEMA office.
Yeah. That was some bullshit.
It was like, yeah,
And
Mike
the
Brown
governor
is
was some bullshit too.
Yeah, and then they was talking about in the second one, like basically Bush didn't want to help the governor because they ain't like each other, and then the governor didn't like the mayor, so they ain't help each other. So then there was like this in crowd fighting going on when people sitting there drowning.
That's going on today.
100%.
That's literally going on today.
100%. That is how our political system runs, and this happened. This was said, and I think I was saying the first. This was said in the National Geographic version of the story, where it was like, if something bad happens, it has to happen to Black people first before we find a cure, some type of solution, right?
Yep.
And the reality is, being in that bowl and you know that there's levees, as soon as you knew that hurricane was coming, those levees should have been reinforced. Those sandbags should have been put on those levees. And honestly, those levees should be higher.
Way higher.
Those levees should be higher. Them levees are basically at the level of the Mississippi River.
Didn't make sense.
A little bit higher than the Mississippi River.
And then every year
it's going to get higher.
To raise it because they got to raise the levees every year.
Yeah, I still have way more thoughts because we didn't even talk about how we mentioned it, but refugees, they were called criminals. In the National Geographic version of it, there was a tourist who was down there at the time saying like they're animals. And then the way that the story, I like how the National Geographic version really covered how the national media was shaping what was going on at the convention center, but also at the Superdome, which is now the Caesar Dome, but the Superdome, and then how those narratives ultimately affected help actually coming to get them. Because help they could have walked across that bridge, but they could have also got those buses in, but none of that happened because of the narratives that was spewing out of control.
Well, they sitting there hot as hell, stink as hell, wondering, can we get some help, please?
Like at least a little bit of help. Like
just a little bit. Some food, something, medicine, something. Y'all telling me the bus coming for days. The bus ain't here. And then when they finally got the help, y'all dropping them off to places and then not telling them where the hell they going. Separating families.
Yeah, we don't know.
I went on TikTok. There's people that said they don't know where their family at. They don't know if they still alive.
Still to this day?
Anything. To this day. So after that documentary dropped, it was it got popular on TikTok. And I just seen so many different stories from different people. Like, I remember it. I remember I was 10 years old and the water coming and I run in the house and my uncle said, hey, let me know when it come up to this stairs. And I just kept running back like every 30 seconds, every 45 seconds, and I'll tell them. And then we had to climb to the attic. Like, it's different stories on TikTok. You go on TikTok and look. Man, all they wanted was some help, man. Some help. They getting called thugs. They trying to get food out the store. What the hell else do you want them to do at that point? What do you want them to do? You're not giving them food. You're not bringing no buses. Y'all trying to shoot me. Is the second one where the dude got shot or the first one when the dude got shot?
Well, in front of the convention center?
No. The dude got shot in the neighborhood.
Oh, they say it both. They tell it in both of them. It's more detail in the second one.
In the second one, yeah.
I mean, the
Dude
first
got
one.
shot, and then another dude got killed over there. And they didn't do nothing about it. Then they put the camera on the
Yeah.
dude, on the man. He said, "How many people you think you shot?" I don't know. It doesn't matter. Is
Yeah,
you crazy?
yeah. The white dude in one of the
Yeah.
areas that didn't get affected by the floods.
Then all they showed when Katrina happened and all the flood happened was French Quarter.
Right,
So everybody
right.
thinking
The
nothing
national
happened,
media.
everything
Yep.
good. Yeah, everything good. Man, them people is stressed out on top of then that was another thing, the
Roofs.
helicopters flying over people. And then that man had to grab a bunch of white people from up downstairs, grab them, put them on the roof, and then the helicopter came. After the helicopter done passed them several times.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. They not even think about it. That's not in the documentary. And New Orleans in that water. That I don't know if it's the Gulf of Mexico, wherever the water that water comes from, Mississippi River. There's alligators, there's snakes, there's all types of shit in that water.
Mm-hmm.
People that one dude, his niece had an infection,
And
and the infection
yeah,
grew to something
it
else.
went to no. She had lupus, and
She had lupus,
she didn't
yeah,
have the medicine or something like that, and it ended up going like turning into something, and it messed up her brain. It was, but the infection was his brother
with his brother because he
walking
got the
through.
cut
I
from
think up
walking
from the
through the water
stop sign.
and hit the stop sign, yeah,
Yep,
which is crazy,
yep.
crazy, man. I don't want to tell the whole story because people, I highly recommend people to watch the Hurricane Katrina documentary because it changed my perspective. I was in South Carolina, Anderson, South Carolina when this happened, and we was watching it on the TV. And I remember just watching it. I'm like, dang, that's crazy. Like, I don't never want to be in a hurricane, but I never knew the how bad it really was until I watched this documentary.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started thinking, like, oh, what about like on TikTok? They talk about the jails, like how it's 300 people missing
Oh
from jails,
shoot! I didn't
and
even
how they
think
didn't
about the
really help. Yeah,
jail.
they couldn't really help them because they didn't know how bad the storm was going to be. The hospital that's abandoned. There's an abandoned hospital here. So it's like it put into perspective again. I don't
Oh,
want to say too much, but you gotta even go deeper into it with the TikToks and seeing other people's stories and just watching the films.
I didn't even think about the jails.
Yeah, you're not thinking about stuff like that. The jails, the hospitals. We seen the hotel. The hotel was all busted out and stuff
Yep,
like
yep.
that. They completely forgot about the convention center that had 30,000 people,
With no
60,000
food and
people, whatever.
everything, and
No food or
it was like,
nothing.
oh, we
They
haven't
thinking
got
the
no.
dome is a convention center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how do y'all think that when there's local officials there that could have said something?
And I think the other part to that is I was thinking about this when I said like the police from the other town was stopping the
Hmm.
black people from going over into the town because of uh all of the communication from the national media or the stories from the national media. There was no communication. This is a question I have in my head. There was no communication between the officials in New Orleans and the officials in the surrounding areas. Like I've
They
seen
had
police
emails.
chases. I've seen police chases in Rochester where it's RPD, it's the state troopers, it's Monroe County, it's around the Quake, Brighton, whoever is available, they going. So it's interesting. It's
Because you
interesting,
gotta remember, the hurricane and that water took all the power and communications out.
but they still had like the general, he had his phone. And they was
Yeah, he had his phone, but he came what, day two, day three, and then who knows if
yeah, that's
that
true.
if that
That's
phone
true.
could that who knows that phone could dial out to whoever it needs
Because
to.
it
Because
is
it
'05.
just yeah, it don't. I don't. Some of it don't make sense. You know, I seen the mirror did have a phone, that big ass phone,
Mm-hmm.
but who
Mm-hmm.
knows how far it can actually go? I don't. Then when they emailed the lady, she was like, yeah, something about the restaurant is getting packed, something
Yeah,
something,
because they
or he's
they
getting
had
ready
just
for dinner.
opened. The restaurants back in Baton Rouge. So they was
Yeah. That shit done. There's motherfuckers out here
dying, and you talking
dying.
about it's a wait list on the
Listen,
restaurant.
yeah. Nigga, and it's hot. That's the thing. It's over 100 degrees for a week, 2 weeks straight.
And it's more,
Hot as hell.
and it's humid because all that water.
And it's humid. And it stink.
I couldn't
There's
imagine.
dead bodies. People shitting all over the damn dome. The dome.
Yeah, because
People shitting all on the street.
yep.
Diapers, all type of shit. Man, that
Yeah.
shit is just that film, man, broke me down, but it put a whole different perspective of
Yeah.
media and racism.
Mm-hmm. And I think we cannot do anything in this country without a center focus on Blackness, Black people, Afrocentricity, whatever you want to call it. Your lens should always lead with that, because when things don't happen in this country, or when we need to get money in this country, that is the lens to which you use to apply for dollars, for grants, for relief. The city of New Orleans got, in the state of Louisiana, got tens of thousands of millions of dollars to rebuild houses that they never rebuilt.
Never rebuilt. And then the houses that they got, they turned double homes into single homes. So that takes families out of that home.
Yep.
Where that family was at, now don't have a home and have to go find another home. Y'all boosted rent up crazy.
Yeah.
OD, so people can move back. That's some fucked up ass
Yeah.
individuals.
Yo.
Knocked down houses, didn't rebuild them. I went to New Orleans in 2018, 2019. Still could see the effects.
Oh, 100%. I was down there and
Still seeing people building houses.
I was down there in 23. I was down there in 23.
Still see it.
And if I'm,
Which is sad.
yep. And I'll be going again next September if I'm still around at the place
Huh?
to which I work.
Oh.
Yeah, if I'm still around, yeah, the place in which I work, I'm gonna be around. Just I don't know if I'm gonna be there, but yeah, watch the doc. Y'all know I'm always gonna give you some homework. What's your take? I already know you got it. You say you gonna say it on the show. So last show,
Yeah, go ahead.
last show we were talking about Queen Bee, and we were talking about, you know, the greatest performers of all time and whatever. And then we end up talking about Beyonce albums. My favorite album, I don't care what you say. I know you about to be on some BS. My favorite album, my favorite project, I'll say project. I'm gonna call it a project. I'm not gonna call it an album, because in order for it to be an album, it got to be, yeah. My favorite project of Beyonce is The Gift, which is The Lion King. It's not a soundtrack, but it's a project to which she made in collaboration with different African artists. And it has a visual album attached to it. Super dope. The concept is dope. The music is dope and everything. And Magic, he listened to it for the first time this weekend, and he texted me, was like, I hold my comments for the show. So the floor is yours, brother.
So I went back, he said Beyonce. I told him 4 is Beyonce's best album. Not saying none of the rest of her albums is not great.
I don't disagree.
But to me, 4 is by far her best album. Never listened to The Gift. I went this weekend. The thing is that he said it's mere thriller.
Hold on,
So
wait. Don't twist my words. I said
What did you say about
the
thriller?
way in which she composed the project, meaning taking different sounds and bringing them together to support her. That's it. I'm not saying it is thriller or it did thriller.
Even composed. I highly disagree. Highly.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
The album is not bad. Not bad at all. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I admit it's pretty good. It's not better than Four. It's not better than Beyonce. It's not better than Lemonade. But when you made that Thriller comparison, it's not even close. It's not even close. Thriller has Thriller. Thriller has, I'm going off the top of my head, Pretty Young Thing.
Yep.
Thriller
Then
has Billie Jean.
mhm.
The Girl Is Mine. Wanna be starting something.
Yeah. Ben.
You wanna be starting something. Human Nature.
Mhm.
The Lady in My Life.
12 amazing tracks.
Baby Be Mine.
Paul McCartney.
I don't see it. I mean,
See?
this is Quincy Jones.
Yeah,
we
oh, yeah,
talking
yes, yes. And see, you're still comparing
I'm comparing sounds.
the product. Hold on, you still comparing the products together. I didn't say that it had Thriller level hits. I didn't say they had Thriller level songs. I'm saying in order for Magic to go into a project understanding that I have to bring 20 different sounds together and I have to bring production that I possibly never really performed on before together in order to bring an amalgamation of different sounds together breeds or calls for some type of brilliance. It calls for some type of creative direction, creative design. Not a lot of people can do it. Case in point, Drake, Views, Trash, so many different sounds on that album.
I can't agree. Can't agree with that one.
Okay, go ahead.
I can't agree with that one. You said Views is trash?
Views is trash.
I think Views is his second best album.
What's his first?
Take Care.
Interesting.
And now we had this debate.
I know.
Nothing was the same.
Nothing was the same. Take Care.
And I went back and listened to that.
Interesting. Nothing Was the Same was his only concept album.
The reason why Nothing Was the Same is my favorite album is because of the fact that it was probably my most concise album, and within that concise offering was a lot of great shit. Yeah. So it's like, I didn't need to go make, for example, 25 songs at that time. I think there's like 15 songs on there or something, and it's like it's a great number. I just like where it sits, and I like the ratio of like, there's not too many songs on that album that I can look back on and say, like, I would have done something different there. I really do like that body of work.
His words, not mine. There's an actual concept. There's an actual concept behind it. When he explained it, I said, oh my goodness. That was the only album that, we getting off topic, but that's the only album that he said it was made to be that way. And there was a specific concept to it. I got to find it. When I find the video, I'll send it to you.
Drake did an interview with Vibe revealing that the initial idea for the deluxe album was to reverse the order of the songs, with Pound Cake being first. And that famous Jimmy Smith speech does fit perfectly as an album intro.
So we hope you enjoy listening to this album half as much as we enjoy playing it for you.
But as we approach the final two songs in the reversed track list, things start to get interesting. As Furthest Thing fades out, Drake tells us,
"It's the shit I want to go out to."
And then it seamlessly transitions into the reverse sample of Whitney Houston for Tuscan Leather. And in the last verse, he says,
How much time is this nigga spending on the intro?
But if you're listening in reverse, why would he call the outro the intro? Well, in the very next line, he says,
Lately I've been feeling like God Pierce a memento.
making it all click. In Memento, Guy Pearce is unable to form new short-term memories due to an accident, so he lives moment to moment, often forgetting what he's doing while he's doing it. And the movie plays in reverse, starting with the end and then showing the moments leading up to the end until you get to the beginning. This would explain why Drake would be calling the outro the intro here. Then as the song comes to a close, we get the Curtis Mayfield speech, making a seemingly fitting outro.
So we'd like to just maybe close out with something for food for thought for all of us.
All of this really gives a whole new meaning to start it from the bottom.
Yeah, please send me that.
But
that in the beat, I don't see it. Only thing I could probably agree to that, comparing that with Thriller, is the only one song, and that would be "Want to Be Started Something."
Interesting.
It's the only song I hear that can be compared, but that's the only song.
So you're saying that album, it sounds like something Beyonce would typically do.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. It sounded like a Beyonce. I mean, it was different artists on it, but the songs that she was on, it sounded like something typically Beyonce would be on.
Interesting. I don't get the same.
And the reason why, because every Beyonce album don't sound the same.
Right. But that's true.
But
that is 100% true.
They don't sound the same, but you get the same vibe.
I can.
That's where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
They don't, like Kanye, for instance, don't sound the same, but it's the same vibe on most of his after Late Registration. Most of them give me the same vibe. And no, not Late Registration. Dark Twisted Fantasy. Everything after that is all the same vibe to me.
Yeah.
Even 808 and Heartbreak, that vibe is in The Life of Pablo.
Oh, 100%.
And yeah. So that's what I'm saying. They don't sound the same, but none of her albums sound the same to me. But it's the vibe. The energy is the same. Maybe I'm trying to explain. The energy is the same to me.
That's interesting because I think that. Okay. Let me ask you this.
And it could be the cadence. It could be her cadence.
Yeah.
It could be the way she sings.
Yeah.
But it sounded like a typical Beyonce record. Just like Drake. You know a Drake record.
Yes.
For instance.
And you know Drake beat.
It's the typical, it's that vibe. It could be a Bad Bunny song. And once he get on it, it's like, oh yeah, I could hear Drake on this.
Yeah.
It's just because of the vibe. That's how I see it.
So let me ask you this. Which Beyonce album to you sticks out like a sore thumb? And when I say sore thumb, I mean like the sound sonically. So like Thriller is MJ's album. That sticks out.
Not for me.
Interesting.
No.
What?
No.
Which one is it for you?
Off the Wall.
Okay, I can see it.
Off the Wall.
I can see it.
For sure.
I can see it. Okay, so which one for Beyonce?
Beyonce that sticks out. The Carter.
Okay.
Because she's rapping.
Yeah. Yes.
She's changing the. Now that is more of that sounds different. Like it's not a Beyonce. Even like the country album, the Cowboy Carter.
Yep.
Some songs is like, oh, I didn't expect that from her. But the Carter is a lot of 808s. You got Quavo doing ad-libs on one of the songs. That's not something typical. That sticks out to me.
We got to revisit this. I don't know enough about her catalog to say which one sticks out for me. Even with me saying The Gift is my favorite project of hers, but I don't have a favorite album of hers. But it's just because it would be irresponsible for me to deem a favorite right now because I just don't know enough about her catalog.
Favorite album is 4? ones that stick out to me of B is that Carter album.
And 4, that was a time.
Is that what that called? The Carter? Okay, yeah. So it's called Everything Is Love by the Carters.
Oh,
That's
it's the
the
Carters
Jay and
with him.
Beyonce joint.
Oh, but
Yeah.
that don't count.
That don't count?
Nope. Her discography.
It's part of it's part of her discography.
No. That's part of the Carters discography. That's like saying my favorite album of Anderson .Paak is the album that he did with him and Bruno. Silk Sonic. There you go. That's Silk Sonic. That ain't. So it would have to be out of Dangerously in Love, B-Day, I Am Sasha Fierce, 4, Beyonce, Lemonade, Lion King, The Gift, Renaissance, Cowboy Carter. Just her discography.
Oh, hold on. I'm checking. I'm doing some fact checking real quick.
Yeah, the Carter. It'll be cool, but that's you got Jay. You got Jay in the process of the creative direction, so that's gonna be different.
Okay, without them. If you wanna, that's your rule. Okay.
Mm-mm.
The one that stick out to me. Oh, then it'll be Cowboy Carter.
Yeah, I mean, you did just say it was. Yeah. You did. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be Cowboy Carter.
Okay. So staying on the music front, there's a lot of stuff happening. We're gonna switch over to hip hop. There's a lot of stuff happening on the scene right now. Thugger just got out
Atlanta
not too long ago. Atlanta is hot on the block right now. Thugger just did a interview, and he was talking about one. Thugger got a lot of leaks going out right now, and it's not going in his favor. To say the least.
I see mixed
reviews. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
My did you see any of the clips of the interview he did on the podcast?
With Big Banks?
Yep, Big Banks.
I was watching some of it today.
So it's very interesting because I watched the clip of him talking about Gunna and how he's disappointed in Gunna and that whole clip. What's your take on that?
Watched that a couple of times. My take is he hurt. He's a hurt man. He felt betrayed. He felt him taking that plea deal is what helped the government actually make a case. He felt that there wasn't no case. We about to tear this shit down. We about to beat this. It's easy. It ain't none of this shit true. But you taking that plea deal saying we is the game, we is that. He said he had all the lawyers huddled up like, all right, hey, make sure everybody on the same page. This is not a game. This is not this. It's not that. If you're not going out there taking that plea deal and then you going out and saying in front of the jury saying YSL is a game. YSL did this. He did this. He did that. So he felt like, hey, man, why would you do that? You messing up the game plan. So now I look crazy in this moment right here. I look crazy because I'm telling them that we not a game. So now I got to switch. Me and my lawyers got to switch our game plan. So he's just really hurt, man. He really hurt as men, which I learned, especially from my last project, for those who love me, being vulnerable and just saying, yo, you hurt my feelings, or just even speaking, having enough guts to speak to another man and tell him how much you hurt my feelings, or the move you made I didn't like, or how you rubbed me the wrong way is sometimes hard for other men to do. So I see him getting emotional. I see him, saying, yo, he didn't even come see my mom. He didn't even come see none of this. And after all I did for him, the least thing he can do is just come see my mom and help out with something. Do just something. I haven't even heard from you. Nothing. I haven't heard nothing from you. You just got out and lived your life like none of this happened. Well, I'm stuck in this box, 23-1. That's my take on it. I just really think he's heartbroken.
I think that there is and this kind of ties back to our conversation we was having in connection with the Hurricane Katrina and our people.
Mhm.
We have this emotional attachment to people and things without really understanding what those things are.
Mhm.
We also hold people to expectations that we don't communicate to them, right?
Mhm.
Now, once you go to jail, it's every man for themselves.
Mhm.
And the only people that know what really happened are the people that's on trial. Right? So
That you can't speak to.
correct. That you can't speak to. So it's a few things. I heard the recording of him talking to 21, and he was
Which who
saying
gave him good advice?
good advice. And he also stand 10 toes and was like, but didn't you tell your brother to take the same deal? The same
From
exact
my
deal?
understanding, Gunner was the first one to take a deal.
Regardless, in the same breath that you just said that we supposed to stand 10 toes, then everybody should have been 10 toes.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's a point of cognitive dissonance where I'm expecting, because I feel like I created you, right? Now I'm going into some of the banter that he was saying. Because I feel like I created you, or in a sense I own you, own the success that you have. I'm being real aggressive with the words that I'm choosing to use. I felt like you, of all people, should have stood 10 toes down for multiple reasons, which is okay. We're talking about brothers here, right? However, I think that there is bringing all of the other conversations together. I think that there is a unhealthy dependency on other people doing or suffering because of your wrongdoing. So in the same breath that you can say, I made you, I created you, I'm not God. Well, God created you, but I helped create you, and all these different things. It's the same way that Gunna can say, yeah, you did that and you put me in this situation because I was blindly loyal to you at one point in time.
Loyal so far.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, on one hand, I do think that it's three takes. One is a real controversial take. The first is, I feel like he is 100% hurt. He said it, he heartbroken. He said it on the call, but he also said it on the pod. Two, I think that he's longing for that brotherhood again. Like that, like genuine, I want to get back to how it was, but he did, because Gunna is one of his artists, he still can communicate to Gunna. But there's also, on the other hand, in terms of Gunna, there is an agreement that he signed that we know nothing about in terms of what he can or can't do. So there could have been you can't go over to anybody associated with Thug while he's still on trial. You know what I'm saying? So like there is that. But then three, which I don't think that and this goes into what you were just talking about, being vulnerable. I think there is a genuine like love thing happening where he genuinely love Gunna, the person, not the artist. And he's not understanding how to reckon with that emotion. And I'm not saying it on like he's gay or anything like that. I mean, it could be, right? We don't know what we don't know. However, I think that part of where we have to be honest with ourselves, especially when we're seeing these like longings to be attached to someone, something, we have to ask ourselves why. Thug is good financially. He can be anywhere in the world besides Atlanta for the most part. He has the money to do these things, but instead we choose to continue to harp on things that at this point, like, we have beat this case. Even with you taking the deal, we have beat this case. Yet I'm still trying to figure out why you do this. But I'm not focusing on the part that we should care about or that we should be talking about in terms of the vulnerability and the emotional well-being and emotional IQ and things of that nature. But instead, we're putting it in this like framing of the streets and what you should do because you should be loyal, when the reality is none of that matters because it's the streets that put you there. So I'm struggling with it because especially as a hip hop head too, we tend to cling, meaning like the people, right? We tend to cling ourselves to this idea of it has to be this way or it's no way. Where the reality is he got out a little bit earlier than you, but he got out and that same strategy led to everybody getting out. Now, if he didn't get out, I mean, because we're talking about canon events, right? If he didn't get out and he stood 10 toes down, it could have happened the same way or it could have went a completely different way. So for me, I think that Thug in particular is engaging this as like, I'm the victim in all of this, when the reality is he's the head of all of it. And he knows exactly what was going on. And he led everybody into what exactly happened because he's the one who had the money first. Gunna is our age. He was in high school and he graduated the same year that we did. So there is, I struggle when I see our men in particular, but then our men in hip hop tend to cling to the same things that got us in that predicament in the first place. And it's just not healthy for us. So that's my long but 3 takes on the Thugger thing as I'm continuing to I didn't watch the whole podcast, but as I'm continuing to just digest and listen to what I can, it's bringing up that there is much more to the story that's separate of the case, the jail, but we're not spending time there. We spending time on jail, whether or not you're a rat or you're gay, which is a whole section of the conversation. And then we're not really acknowledging the emotional side, the vulnerable side of what we're really seeing Thugger wrecking with when he sit down and had those conversations, or even when he was having those conversations on the phone.
I think the issue is street shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if Gunna is from the streets. I don't know, but
no, he's not. He went to the same school as my sister. Literally walking the same hallways, going to class. I'm not gonna say he's not street, but I know the school he went to, and he walked the same classroom. My sisters walk past him every day because they're on the same, probably was in the same classes as him.
But hey, streets are not. Some things is just, the streets is just dumb. Let's just go
100%.
here. The streets is the dumbest shit you could do. Now, I have no issue with people that use the street to get to where they're going or have no choice and have to hustle. But if you're using the streets after fame, after success, that's just the dumbest shit you can fucking do.
Mm-hmm.
It's the dumbest shit you can do. And I think still following street rules and morals after being successful can get you in bad predicaments and have you looking kind of crazy by sticking to those rules. Because the only people that's following those rules is people that's in the streets.
Right.
And a lot of the street shit teach you the wrong thing. like not being vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
You could be vulnerable and a man at the same time. That doesn't make you less of a man.
That's a fact.
You can tell another man how you feel and tell him and sit down and talk to him, rather there's beef or not. That doesn't make you less of a man. But at least you got that confirmation. At least you can leave knowing that's how that person felt. That's why that person did that, and move on. You don't have to. The crazy thing about life is that we don't have to stick to somebody because of what you done for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Use it as, hey, I blessed this person. I did what I can with them. I wipe my hands with it. It's over. I'm done.
Facts.
Because the best part about life is getting old
Mm-hmm.
and following street shit and trying to be in the street still after being successful. That only ends you in two places: dead or in jail.
Which they was.
Yeah, which they was. God giving you another chance.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really up to you what you want to do. You gonna stick? I understand you could be hurt, but it's really to move on and just have that conversation. That's really it. That's the bottom line. Have that conversation. Talk. If everything is cool, cool. If not, wipe my hands and go about my business. Worry about your career. Worry about the next big thing. Worry about what you can do to impact and help children that look up to you. To stop thinking this street shit is cool. The
Mm-hmm.
street shit is not cool. It's not fun. It's not cool.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
And if you think it is fun, at the end of fun, bad things happen at the end of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But happiness always ends with joy.
Mm-hmm.
Joy. I'm seeking joy. I don't look for happiness. I'm always seeking joy because that's where happiness is.
Same.
Did I just? Yeah, I'm looking for joy. That's where happiness is.
Mm-hmm.
Fun is temporary.
Just like happiness is temporary.
Just like that fun shit is temporary, and bad shit always happen at the end of fun. House parties. That should be fun as hell. But somebody nut ass got to fucking start shooting it up.
Facts.
And hopefully it's not you that's getting shot. I've been at house parties with next to somebody that's getting shot or somebody shooting outside. What's the reason? Just to be like, why? And then sometimes people go on the news. We was just having fun. Hey, I'm not looking for fun. I'm looking for joy. I want to be happy. I want to help other people, other kids, and show them it's a different way other than just the streets. The streets is not. They treat the streets like it's the NBA.
Yeah, that yes, they do, and I think that's also one of the reasons why I struggle with like how Thugger is going on this like tour of like, I don't even like call it what it is. As a man, right? A man that's seen life probably crazier than me or you have seen put in combined, right? Like, say what it is. It doesn't make you any less of a man than what you think you already are now, because actually right now you're looking like a boy. And I think for me, especially in this space of like developing Black boys and men, or Black boys into men, is really getting them to understand that their emotions is their power. And I remember working with one of them, or engaging with a graduating senior, and he was talking about his girlfriend, and he was saying how, I was just defending myself, and I was like, yeah, but how did that make you feel? He was like, it made me feel no way. I said, nah, it made you feel a way. And he tried to go into like, men are better regulating their emotions than women, And I said, well, be careful with that. Be careful with how you say that. But I was like, so why didn't you just tell her how you felt when she made you feel how you felt? And he was like, I did. I was like, but you said it in a way as if you was talking to someone off the street, not your girlfriend. And if you
It's not what you
decide,
say, it's how you
yeah,
say
if
it.
you decide to talk to your girlfriend that way, your girlfriend is supposed to be one of the sacred women of your life. So you're never supposed to disrespect her in a way that makes her feel lesser than. He was like, "You're right." I said, "Okay, so how did she make you feel?" Then he thought about it, and he was like, "She hurt my feelings." I was like, "Now say that. Lead with that. That don't make you any less of a man, of a boy, of a young man." When you say that, and that's what they're looking for you to express how you feel instead of reacting to what they're saying.
And one thing I noticed in one of Thug clips is that when he got real emotional and tears started falling, he put the shades on.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, it's all right. It's all right to cry when your heart is broken. When you had your friend right there every day with you, you making hit records. It's all understandable. But make sure, again, like you just said, you leading with shit. You leading with love, and you leading with good intentions. You leading with, hey, you broke my heart. This how I felt when you did this. Ask. You can ask, why did you do that? And I don't have to yell at you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to be aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
I just at that moment, I just want my answers. I want to tell you how I felt. I'm coming here with good intentions, and that's it. I'm
Yep.
wiping my hands with it.
Yep. It don't got to be nothing more after that.
Nothing more.
When you said, fun ends badly, it reminded me of Nipsey when he said, "For I bust up," what he said in dedication, "For I run up in your bank just for recreation."
Mm-hmm. And what's recreation?
And that was fun to them.
That was fun.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you said it, and it that's immediately what went into my mind, and I just feel, at some point as men, Black men, and this is a broader conversation, but we have to be accountable for ourselves before we try to be accountable for somebody else. So, like, in a sense, right? We don't know. I mean, I don't know if Thugger graduated high school. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
we know Gunna graduated high school, right? And I think part of where the struggle is, though, is the OGs, and I say this in my work now, where it's like we got to start telling, especially in this day and age, we got to start telling our kids, just like how we tell them that to choose their peers wisely, because their peers will, not be good for them. It's the same thing for their adults. You got to choose your adults
Hell yeah.
wisely. Like
Hell
we
yeah.
have to start to drill that in their heads for them to understand every adult is not an adult. It's some adults that's cosplaying as an adult, but they're actually a kid.
Goddamn child.
And when and I'm talking about Black men now, right? I'm not going to talk about nobody else. There's a lot of Black men out here that's cosplaying as a man when they're really a boy. And I feel like Thugger right now in this current time is acting like a boy, someone who can't regulate his emotions. I won't even say regulate. I won't say regulate. I would say communicate his emotions in a way that will lead to a productive conversation that can get him out of whatever hole he feels he's in. Because you think about it, right? He got out. Gunna got out. He started doing things that he cared about. He just did the 5K. I think it was in New York. He just did the 5K here in New York. He's been releasing music and all that stuff. And Thug is on a I'm Hurt tour, right? He's not releasing no music for the most part. Obviously, Thugging Up is going to be a little different because there's a lot of things he cannot do in his music under his plea deal, right? Or under his, it was a plea deal, whatever he did, right? So obviously his music's going to be different, but he still has the ability to make music and do the things that made him all his money over the years. So I think that we have to be accountable, especially, or just having conversations like this to be accountable, and calling out when men are acting like boys, and how we can push our brothers into being more not engaging in that toxic masculinity to where it starts to break down bonds, and it keeps us in that cyclical cycle of like, well, if she never kept a cat, I would say cow. If she never kept a child, then we wouldn't be in this situation because we had an agreement and she went back on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the same thing. If he would have never signed that plea deal, we would have been good. But since he did, now I'm mad at him. Now I'm not going to do what I'm supposed to be doing. Now I'm not, because I created him, right? It's that same thought process. And I know I'm making this way deeper than what it is on the surface, but this is the same behavior that we see in our family dynamics, and community dynamics, and ultimately in the hood, in those gang dynamics.
Everybody want to play victim, and that's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
I learned, man. Even I speak about this on For Those Who Love Me, EP. I learned before I become a victim, I'm gonna look at myself as a suspect,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna take self accountability on the things that I did wrong. What did I do wrong first? What did I do wrong? Because it's cause and effect a lot of the times. So
Mm-hmm.
what did I do wrong first to for this to happen? For us to get in this predicament, for me to get in this predicament, what did I do first? Okay, this is what I did. I have to take accountability of what I did, accept what I did, and then move forward and see, oh, okay, I got you in here. I'm the reason why. My fault. Won't happen again. But it always start with that self accountability. Look yourself in the mirror and see where the issue really stemmed from. Some majority of the time, it's starting with you.
Facts. You and
It's
whatever
starting with you.
you've been carrying. I was
Right.
there's this book. I like recommending books. The seven rules of love.
Yeah.
Jay Shetty. Dope writer, dope interviewer. He has some good content. And one of the 7 rules, I don't know what the rule is, but it talks about how we go into, and I guess that's a good way to round out this conversation, because I did say love is one of them, but we tend to go into relationships, whether it's friendships or romantic relationships, and we want them to love us the way that we were loved, and we don't learn how to love them in the way that they know to be loved. So we go into
Right.
situations already thinking of ourselves only.
Hmm. And that could literally come from trauma from your past relationship.
Yep.
You bringing in your past relationship trauma and drama, and then you're projecting it onto the next or the new person you're with,
Yep.
which is wrong. And we do that rather it's a relationship, friendship, whatever it may be. That's why that self accountability, man. That I learned a lot. Just sitting back and looking at what I did wrong first before I was pointing the finger at somebody else.
That's a fact. Black men, brothers, look at yourself first. Stop pointing
Look
fingers.
in that mirror. Look at that mirror. Look at that mirror.
I remember my cousin called me one time, and he said he accidentally got his girl pregnant, or girl at the time pregnant. I don't know.
How was it an accident?
I said the same thing. I said, accident? What you mean accident? He was like, yeah, it was an accident. I said, it wasn't an accident. Yeah, it was. I said, well, how was it an accident? Well, because I didn't mean to. Nah, brother. Nah, brother. There is multiple ways to not have this quote unquote accident.
Me, I'm going in thinking, damn, why didn't I wear a condom? I know I'm not ready for a child.
I know I
I
don't got
know
a
she not
job.
ready for a child. I know I don't have a job.
I know I don't
Maybe I
got my
should have got a
GED.
job. Maybe I should have got a job before I had sex. Maybe I should have got my GED before I had sex.
Yeah,
Before I'm thinking about sex.
yeah. Fun,
Damn.
fun. What do you say? Fun in with?
Bad shit. Bad shit end with fun. I mean, fun end with bad shit.
And that's exactly what he said. He said it just felt so good. So you made a choice. You telling me you made a choice?
Yeah. That 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes of fun. Now you stressed out trying to figure things out.
Yeah, yeah. So
Be prepared, man. That stems back to Hurricane Katrina. That quote.
well,
Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. But you can say the quote.
the quote was, in order to prevent something from happening again, you have to understand why it happened in the first place.
Preach.
And the thing is, you don't have to, like, it don't have to happen. And this is something that I profess to, because I've, as the youngest in my family, but then also watching men and watching people go through hardship and mistakes and things of that nature.
Best lessons.
Hey,
those are the best lessons.
You ain't got to tell me twice. I don't got to see it. I don't want to experience that. I've seen people or heard stories about people being homeless and stuff. If it's two things that I'm going to always pay, I will go without food. I will figure it out. I done had syrup sandwiches. There is food pantry stuff. I don't want there is public markets and stuff where rates are cheaper from the local farmers and things of that nature, right? I will learn how to cook, which I already know how to cook, but I will learn how to cook perishable, non-perishable foods in order to cook for a week straight. I will eat leftovers for a week straight before I go homeless, before I don't have a car. The first two bills, the first two priorities that get paid first is my rent and my car payment and my car insurance first, because I fear being homeless. Now, obviously, I know that I won't be homeless, but because I got parents that got houses and stuff, and it's nothing, you know what I'm saying? But once you live alone, or once you have the responsibility to maintain your living situation, it is up to you as an adult to make sure that happens. And it is not up to anybody else in this world, including your parents, to pick up where you are not picking up.
You're an adult.
You're an adult. You have to make
responsibility.
Make adult
decisions. You have
decisions.
accountability.
Right. Just like having a kid. That is an adult decision. That it follows with adult decisions after that. And it despises me for people who have kids. It grinds my gears when people have kids and they still trying to be a kid. And now you raising a kid.
Not the ones that don't have a choice. It's people fucking perverts and rape and shit like that.
Yeah, I ain't going that deep. I ain't going that dark.
Yeah.
I was staying on the surface. I was staying on the surface. But yeah, the people who choose to do that, not the people who it happened
you gotta be
involuntarily.
It's a sensitive time.
Facts.
You gotta be more you gotta be damn, it's getting to me already.
Mm-hmm.
Specific gets me with the Pacific. Now, I don't know why black people do that.
Yeah. And some people,
I always try to get specific instead of Pacific. But you gotta be specific when you saying certain things with people. So
100%. Yeah. So that's the show for today.
Oh wait. So I didn't learn nothing.
Oh yeah. The internet taught me.
Yeah, the internet taught me. I don't have nothing, but I do have the song of the day.
Okay.
Or the song of the week. It is Giveon Keeper. That's my song of the week.
Oh, you still on the Giveon?
I'm still on the Giveon. I'm still on the Giveon. Because, again, it goes back to what we were talking about. It's a lot of self-accountability in that album. It's a lot of Uh, I fucked up here. She fucked up here. There's a lot of that, and I just I love it. I love it. I love it. That's just the space I am. It's a lot of self growth. I see a lot of self growth within myself, taking a lot of self accountability from my past and the things that I've been through, and it helped me out a lot, a whole lot. Rather it's friendship, relationship, or even family. Shit, even financially. God damn it, I should have never bought that hot pocket. I shouldn't have bought that hot pocket. I should have paid my RG&E. But that hot pocket is what took the edge off. I should have made a better decision.
Dang, that's a struggle. Hot pocket or RG&E?
I don't know why I'm saying hot pocket.
Hot
but
pocket or RG&E is crazy, but
that's what came to my head. That's what just came to my head. I
goes.
hope we eat hot pocket.
It goes with everything that we talked about today. Anything else?
That was it. I didn't learn nothing.
I mean,
You said what? I got what?
Oh no, I was just saying anything else. I would say, but it's only been technically. I mean, I know people listen to this a week. It's only been like 4 days since we recorded the last one. So
hey, and that's what I want to say. Hey, I'm super excited to be on here. That's one thing I wanted to say. I'm super excited. As you can see, I've been trying to get the ball right. Hey, you want to go? Hey, let's do it. I'm super excited.
I need that, bro.
I don't know why I'm excited.
I need that, bro.
I don't know why I'm excited, but I enjoy these conversations. I ain't get to the part where I'm talking shit because I'm a shit talker. I'm trying to be, just share a little bit of wisdom that I have. But
it'll come. It'll come.
Yeah, it's gonna come.
It's football season. Basketball coming
It's football
soon.
season. I'm not supporting the NFL. I'm not supporting my Cowboys. Jerry Jones pissed me off with Michael Parsons. So, in my perspective, football and Cowboys is suspended for a year. I'm done.
Football and the
but
Cowboys.
I did want it and the Cowboys. So I don't watch any football. I don't watch the scores, none of that. But I did see the Buffalo Bills was losing yesterday. It was 40-25, 9 minutes left. I leave, come home, walk in the house. My niece texts me, "We won 40-41."
I can't stand Bills fans.
There's no way y'all won.
Yeah,
I checked, and they won.
One mistake changed it all.
One mistake changed it all. But the one thing that I did learn from this whole suspension with the Cowboys and the NFL is that I don't be mad at all. They lost Thursday. I'm hearing. I seen the score, but I'm hearing they lost a couple drops. We could have won. Whatever. Don't care. But I learned that I don't get mad because in the NFL there's only one game per week, so you're mad for a full week. Compared to the NBA, there's 4 games a week. There's one game per week, so you're mad. Your anxiety is up for a full week. I had none of that. Week 1.
Good.
I felt good.
Great. That was an unhealthy bond to a team that loses anyway.
I'm done. Figure it out, Jerry.
Figure it out, Jerry. I mean, my team lost too, but I mean,
Who y'all lost to?
Who did we lose to? It don't matter. We lost.
Hey.
We was looking good, but then we lost. But I mean, Mike Vrabel he wasn't really good in Tennessee. So a good coach is a dime a dozen right now. And this is rookie quarterback. Anyways.
What could you do?
I disassociated myself emotionally with teams a long time ago. So
I'm just not learning that. I'm just not. Indiana took my heart. My heart was broken for 2 weeks. I was depressed. I had anxiety. NFL, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that this year. I'm not doing that this year. I'm not doing that shit this year with Jerry Jones. I'm not doing that shit with Dak. I'm not doing that shit with CeeDee Lamb. You're not going to piss me off for a full week. And then I got to go to work or go outside in the world and people I don't got time for that.
Yeah,
What
everybody
about
know
them
about your team.
Cowboys? Your last championship was 30 years ago. I don't care. I don't care.
I don't care.
I'm good anyway.
Ah,
They've been asking me. I've been getting asked for all this week. What about them Cowboys?
I
Don't
don't know.
care. They'll watch it. They're suspended. Don't know. They're suspended in my mind. You're done. I'm good.
It's a good break to disassociate yourself from the sport because we as men we say we winning or we lost. And
We're too
I
invested.
remember having a conversation where it was like there's a lot of people out there that really think that they're on the field, like with them. And
See, that's my issue. When it comes to that Indiana Pacers, I write them on Twitter. Y'all gonna hear me. Y'all gonna hear me. But the thing is like when I do that, it's like they really do listen because they get better the next game. Cowboys, I will literally go on Twitter, add them, and cuss them out. I don't want to do that. I don't. I'm not that invested no more. I'm done. It's over. I don't even got a jersey. The only jersey, Cowboy jersey I have is Deion Sanders. He haven't been there since the 90s. I'm done.
yeah, he don't even got his
I'm good.
toes that he used to. It's all right.
I did watch Colorado though. I watched Colorado, and my nephew played for Oklahoma State. I watched them over the weekend.
That's good. Didn't they win?
Not, Colorado did.
Colorado, yeah.
Oklahoma State, I don't want to speak of. No comment.
All right, cool. And y'all already know. Bring another set of ears for next week's show. Because this is Introspective Insight, the Black Wall Street podcast. And we out.
See you soon. Yeah. Come back next week. Yeah. Introspective Insight. Introspective Insight. Volume 2.